everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my match predictions for week 28 Premier League fixtures. And we have any of the results we just had for week 27, we are in for a treat. We saw some amazing games. We saw Watford nick a point at Old Trafford. We know Man United are gunning for a top 4 place. We also saw other teams which were fearing the drop in terms of relegation lose games, like Everton having a controversial VAR decision which pretty much decided the game. We also had other teams like Brentford losing, dropping down in the table, looking like they could be caught in a relegation fight as well. But if we have any sort of results like we just had, I'm telling you, it's going to be an amazing set of fixtures, and we are in for a treat in terms of the fixtures we have. We have the Manchester derby, both teams looking to compete, both teams looking to have a win to achieve their objectives this season. We also got Liverpool v West Ham. We saw the last time when West Ham played Liverpool at their stadium, West Ham were able to pick up all 3 points in a 3-2 thriller. So I'm telling you, we are in for a treat. But before going on my video and give my match predictions for week 28 fixtures, you know I'm going to say, make sure you guys like, comment, and hit that big subscribe button right there. It will help the channel grow because I'm only like 20, 30 subscribers away from 900. So please hit the subscribe button, guys, if you consistently like and watch my content. But yeah, let me just go straight into the match predictions. So the first game I'm going to be giving my match predictions on, it has to be the Manchester derby. And this week is going to be hosted at the Etihad. Manchester City v Manchester United. It's going to be a marvellous game and a spectacle to watch because both teams desperately need the 3 points to achieve the objectives. But going in this game, I know people are going to think I'm biased because I'm a Liverpool fan. I want Manchester United to win. But I think Manchester United actually have good hope of actually winning and picking up all 3 points. Yes, I said it. I think Manchester United can actually win this game. Right now, I think Manchester City are a wounded animal. They aren't playing with flair. They aren't playing with confidence. They ain't playing with freedom, fluidity in their style of football. In the last 3 games, obviously they won 2 of them. But if you actually saw the performances, the game against Everton, where Everton were pretty much the better team over the 90 minutes, the way they kept flying into challenges, 50-50 balls, disrupting Manchester City's whole flow when it came to their tick-attack of football. And even the game against Peterborough in the FA Cup, Manchester City did not look like world beaters. And I know people are probably thinking, oh yeah, Manchester City were playing their reserve teams. Manchester City weren't taking Peterborough seriously. But if you watched the game, you would have saw Manchester City starting 11, Cancelo, Ederson, Grealish, Foden, Gundogan. They had their world-class players on display, but they weren't able to get a convincing win against Peterborough. And yes, you can do this against Peterborough. Yes, you can do this against Everton. Yes, you can do it against any other relegation sides as well. But we saw when Manchester City actually versed a decent team like Tottenham on their day, because we know Tottenham are inconsistent. But when Tottenham do play right, Manchester City did struggle and they did lose the game. So Manchester United should be looking at that Tottenham performance, even that Everton performances, and be thinking, we actually have a great chance of actually picking up points in this game because Manchester City have not been the juggernaut we know them to be, and Manchester United have a great opportunity. The way I feel like they should set up is play McFred. Yes, it's boring. Yes, it's laboured. Yes, it's not really free-flowing attacking football. But at the end of the day, Manchester United need to create that low block, especially to provide that protection for their 2 centre-backs, because we know Manchester City with a free-flowing football can hurt you at any moment. All McFred need to do is literally disrupt Manchester City's free-flowing football. Whenever they get the ball in the final third, literally be aggressive, fly into challenges, try win the ball in good areas, and try hit Manchester City on the counter-attack. I know Rangnick likes to do his high pressing football, but we have seen time and time yet again this season it just hasn't been working. So literally go back to basics, make it hard for Manchester City to break you down, and when you get the opportunity on the counter attack like Tottenham did with Manchester City's ridiculous high line, you're going to have space and opportunity, especially when Manchester United do have their world-class players, do have their match winners like Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo, even Elanga has been scoring and chipping in goals the way he's been playing. You got dangerous players in the final third to actually harm and upset Manchester City in this game at the Etihad. And I know Ralph Rangnick, and I'm not a massive fan of him. I don't feel like long-term he should be Manchester United's manager. But statistics tell the story. I can't even lie. Manchester United have created the most opportunities, the most chances ever since he has come as Manchester United manager. So if Manchester United players were more clinical, maybe they'll be higher up in the table. And if Ronaldo and these guys can actually step up, they're going to get a lot of chances in this game because the stats suggest this. So Manchester United obviously have a chance of winning this game, despite Manchester City overall being being the obvious favourites going into this game. Manchester United have not lost in the Etihad in their last 3 games. Even better, they have won all 3 games they've last visited at the Etihad. So Manchester United players should feel confident, should be in high spirits, should at least feel optimistic that they can potentially get the job done because they've done it before at the Etihad. Yes, I'm biased. Yes, I know I want Manchester United to win, and I'm going to get my Manchester United pom-poms out just for this one game because I want Manchester United to do the job for Liverpool. But at the end of the day, I do think Manchester United will win, and I'm going to be predicting a 2-1 victory. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Tottenham Hotspur versus Everton. Both teams desperately need the 3 points to continue their charge for their objectives this season. Spurs in terms of trying to get into the top 4 race, and then we've got Everton trying to survive and make sure they stay in the Premier League this season. And if you really think about it, if you really analyse it, these 2 teams are the most unreliable teams in the league because of the way they've been so inconsistent in the last few months or so. We see Tottenham beat Manchester City, look like world beaters, have a great performance. Next thing you see, they lose against Burnley. Next thing you see, they score 4 or 5 against Leeds. Great football away from home, Ellen Road. Never a good stadium. Never easy atmosphere to cope with. They literally destroy Leeds. Next thing you know, they're losing the FA Cup against Middlesbrough. You can just never know with Conte and Spurs' team. And the same things with Everton. They just cannot even buy a point away from home. We saw this against Newcastle. We even saw this against Southampton. And the next game, obviously, is against Spurs. And Spurs are home going this game. So Everton players may feel a bit apprehensive thinking, are they going to get the 3 points? Are they even going to nick a point since they have not experienced this under Frank Lampard? But going into this game, let me start with the home side, Tottenham Hotspur. When you put the pressure on them to dominate the game, to monopolise the ball, it looks like they can't create that many opportunities or chances for Son and Kane. We saw this against Burnley. We even saw this against Middlesbrough. Tottenham don't really know how to create opportunities, especially in that midfield, which lacks so much creativity and Winks, Skip, Højbjerg. Doesn't really matter who you really put in there. Tottenham have been struggling in this department, and since they're home, and since Everton are obviously the clear underdogs, they're going to have the pressure yet again to take the game to Everton to try dominate possession and create clear-cut chances for Harry Kane and Son. However, like I said, Everton aren't doing much better themselves. Yes, they had a great performance against Manchester City, and there's so much to take away from that. The way they held their own, literally flying into tackles, being aggressive in the midfield, making it so hard for Manchester City to play. I know that was such a great performance, but going in this game, they've not won a game away from home under Frank Lampard yet. They've just been too inconsistent. I just don't know where they stand, especially defensively, when we know they are looking to make the mistakes whenever they want to and give the other team a great opportunity to score. I don't think Everton will win. I think they'll actually lose. I feel like Spurs have the match winners. I think Kane, Son, whoever in the final third will win the game for Spurs. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for the home side. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Watford versus Arsenal, and both teams have so much to play for this season, and in this game, desperately needing the 3 points to continue their charge for their objectives as well. We got Watford, who were able to nick a great point at Old Trafford against Ralph Rangnick's men in their last game away from home, and in all honesty, I don't feel like they deserved it. If you watched the highlights, you would have known Manchester United kept missing sitter after sitter. Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Elanga, it doesn't matter who was in front of goal, they didn't have their shooting boots on. So if one of them were able to score 1 or 2, Watford would have had to obviously break out from the defensive shape, and who would have known Manchester United would have won the game maybe by a lot of goals. So going this game against Arsenal, Watford need to tighten up. They have to make sure they're more sharp, make sure defensively they're able to limit the amount of chances Arsenal do get, because who knows, Arsenal may be able to get more goals, or at least a goal, compared to Manchester United going into this game against Watford. But like I said, Arsenal aren't any world beaters just like Manchester United are, so Watford should feel a little bit happy, appreciate this moment, and potentially think they can make a point, because Arsenal, although have scored 2 goals in their last 2 or 3 games or so, against Brentford winning 2-1, and in their last game as well against Wolves beating them 2-1, it's not like they're running away from teams, it's not like they're blowing them out of the water. So if Watford can stick in this game, they will obviously have a great chance of getting a point in this game, or maybe even more. But going in this game, I feel like the duty is going to heavily rely on Arsenal's hands to take the game to Watford. We know, like I said, Watford are going to sit back, be defensive minded, structured, and look to hit Arsenal on the counter-attack. So Arsenal are going to have to break them down. And I know they've struggled in the past against certain teams to break teams down. But in the last game, they were able to beat Watford 2-1, honestly, and had a great performance in the second half, showing heart and spirit that they were able to turn around a 1-0 defeat, it looks like, to a 2-1 victory. So Arsenal should be in high hopes, and I feel that Odegaard had an amazing game, especially in the first half, creating chance after chance for Lacazette, providing those through balls, providing those cutting-edge passes to Lacazette. So it's just going to go down to the forwards. Are they going to be clinical enough to take the game to Watford and score goals? Do I trust Lacazette, Saka and Martinelli to take their opportunities and chances when they score goals? So going in this game, I do feel that Arsenal will win. They're going to have confidence. If we're able to do it to Wolves, we'll be able to do it to Watford. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory away from home for Arsenal. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Liverpool versus West Ham. And like I said in my introduction, the last time these two sides faced off, it was one of the classics of the season. We saw a 3-2 victory for West Ham, upsettingly because I'm a Liverpool fan. But the game was amazing. It was sensational. We saw so many chances, so many opportunities for both sides to score the goals. And West Ham were able to nick all 3 points in the 80th minute or so. But going in this game, we know what's up for grabs. The 3 points. Both teams need the 3 points because A, West Ham are chasing, obviously, down the top 4 place. And B, Liverpool are chasing down the Premier League title and trying to snatch it away from Manchester City's grasp. So going in this game, both teams are looking to get all 3 points because they are playing catch-up. And although Liverpool are undefeated at Anfield and this game is going to be played at Anfield, Liverpool cannot underestimate West Ham. West Ham coming off a hard, well-fought victory against Wolves, winning 1-0 at the Olympic Stadium. They should be filled with optimism, joy, thinking that they will be able to at least get a result against Liverpool, especially due to the fact that they were able to beat them in the reverse game they played at the Olympic Stadium, like I said earlier on in this video. So going in this game, who knows? Maybe West Ham will be able to do something. But going in this game, like I said in my last time these two faced, Liverpool must be able to negate West Ham's 2 biggest key strengths. The first one, set pieces. We saw in the last game in the Olympic Stadium these two teams faced. Alisson was weak, he was flimsy coming out for the ball, he wasn't reliable, he didn't feel confident. This game, he needs to expect this because we know Craig Dawson, we know players like Antonio, we know players like Rice, they're going to be flying at the near post, back post, being aggressive, being physical in the air and trying to score goals. We know West Ham are one of the best teams, one of the most clinical teams when it comes to set pieces. So Liverpool need to respect this and think of strategies to try and negate this, especially due to the fact that Liverpool are one of the smallest teams in this league. Second of all, I know Liverpool had so much joy playing the Highline against Chelsea in the final in the Carabao Cup, and we saw Chelsea have offside goal after offside goal, but it didn't matter because Liverpool were well organised the way they kept pushing up as a team to ensure that the players from Chelsea were literally offside every single time. If we're going to have to do this, we're going to have to be way better than the time we was last time at the Olympic Stadium, where literally Bowen, Antonio and the other players were able to time their runs to perfection. We're going to have to be organised, like I said. If Liverpool are able to negate these 2 threats, especially the one where it's coming down to the counter-attack, where West Ham players will be able to time their runs, Liverpool will win this game. We just have to respect our opposition and know who we're dealing with. So going in this game, since Diaz is in amazing form like we saw in the Carabao Cup final, my man of the match for Liverpool, and the way the other players like Mane, Salah obviously scoring goals. And we also got Jota returning to fitness, although they didn't really play that well in the cup final. He's going to have a point to prove in this game against West Ham. I think Liverpool are going to win. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a well thought out game, especially since West Ham are going to be sitting in that low block because we know how David Moyes likes his team organised as well, similar to Roy Hodgson. But going in this game, I'm going to be predicting a Liverpool victory. I think we have too much firepower, too many weapons in the final third, where West Ham are going to find it hard to keep us out for 90 minutes. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory for the home side Liverpool at Anfield. So the last game I'm predicting is Norwich versus Brentford, and I know I say this in every single game. Both teams desperately need the 3 points. Going into this one, both teams desperately need the 3 points because they are fighting for their Premier League lives this season. We have Norwich who literally have no ace up their sleeves. They have no more games in hand, played like 27 games I think, and they are rock bottom of the table. They're versus the Brentford side who have not won a game since January the 2nd or the 4th against Aston Villa. So honestly, look at both teams' situations. They need the 3 points because other teams in and around them, like Burnley, like Watford, like Newcastle, they're picking up results. So both teams need to get points on the table if they want to be playing Premier League football next season. And going this game, I feel like Norwich have a great opportunity. They have a great chance. I know they have conceded the second most goals in the league. I know they've scored the least amount of goals in the league as well. But at the end of the day, if you've seen Brentford's last 9 games record away from home, they have lost all of them by at least 2 goals. So it looks like Brentford aren't be able to hack with the franticness of the Premier League when it comes to games away from home. They just feel the pressure. They don't have their fans to support them, to give them an extra 10 to 15% of energy in the latter stages of the games. It looks like Brentford just fizzle out and they don't have the mental toughness to make sure they can stay in the games, especially away from home. So Norwich must look at this as a sort of plus that they can potentially win this game. Norwich are home. The fans are going to know what sort of occasion this is because they're playing a team in and around them where it's not going to be a one-off game where they're thinking they're going to lose. They're going to be in high spirits. They're going to be cheering their team on until the 90th minute or so. So honestly, Norwich have the fans. They have the stats against Brentford away. They should be getting points in this game. I know Eriksen is honestly one of the dark horses in this game and potentially he could have a massive impact because we know on his day he's a quality player. But we know it's going to take time for Brentford to get Christian Eriksen up to speed in the Premier League. And I don't feel like he's going to do this in the games of Norwich. So going this game, I'm not going to bet against statistics. I think Norwich know the occasion. They understand what they need to do. And I think they're going to win this game 2-1